Just let me go.
Are we live?
All right. Oh, I can hear
Maybe.
myself now. There we go.
Possibly. Are we on yet?
I don't know.
I want to see everyone.
Are we live?
All right.
Welcome to
Hey,
Gamers
how's it going?
Unrated.
Nothing like technical difficulty.
I am
Yeah,
Steel
man.
Tamashi, your host, along with co-hosts.
You first.
Captain Obliteration. Immortal Otaku.
85!
Yes, and welcome to the next episode of Gamers Unrated.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. So,
Good.
what have you guys been playing this week?
Minecraft and Eve, and that's pretty much it.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Mhm.
I haven't been playing anything because I've been at the beach.
Boo!
I'm going to the beach this upcoming week.
You're gonna play anything?
Not really. I'm just going to
Boo.
lay around.
Okay, that's fine. Well,
Best way
Well,
to vacation.
2 days. 2 days out of a whole week. The whole next week I will play a few games.
okay, there you go.
Okay.
All right, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Something.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
it's
relaxing without a game.
I was at the
So
beach
it's
the whole
just
week.
you.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm good with that. Hey, I got something.
Shameful. You're a host on a game show and you're not even talking about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Want to move on?
Yeah. All I've been playing this week is Heroes of Mana and the re-release of Zelda Oracle of Seasons on my 3DS. I haven't played much in the PS3 this week, so
Mhm.
that's really about it for that. Now, what's in there?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
This, folks, is a special treat I prepared for all of us, and they
Smells
don't know.
like a setup.
They don't know what it is.
Mm.
Brownies.
Looks good.
Give it a shot.
Special brownies.
They are kind of sticky.
I can tell.
Sticky.
Oh no, the poison!
No, not dead yet. All right, so I guess we should move on to news.
What do you think?
Not too shabby.
Very good.
Good.
All right,
They're
now.
cheesecake brownies.
Mm.
I
Good
can
stuff.
taste it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, now that we got that out of the way, you want to tell us about what happened with EVE Online this last week?
What happened with EO Online is that they had a DDoS?
Mhm.
2 Ds. DDoS attack. Which means that their servers were taken down because a whole bunch of bot accounts were set up and continuously sent login requests, which essentially slowed the server to a halt. And does it allow hacking? Does it make it easier? They didn't really specify that.
My understanding is that the whole point of just that attack is just to stop any server access.
Just to be a dick, right?
Pretty much. It's just a basic troll, not really hacking for anything.
Mhm. Cool. And out of all of the server regions that went down, only China stayed up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
Although,
So what are you trying to say?
I don't know. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to speculate? EVE players being dicks to one another, so obviously the whole point of it is to make sure no one else has fun but one region. Interesting. I mean, there's no other point to it than that. Okay. Moving. EVE Online has also released their Odyssey update, which means plenty of new exploration features and changes. All of them are less than enjoyable. I don't like any of them. Ice belts have been made anomalies. They only respawn every 4 hours. They carry a very limited amount of ice, which means they've essentially skyrocketed prices on ice. That's because no one can get any now, which is kind of stupid. Yet at the same time, does add a change element to running a POS, which requires ice to run.
Mhm.
So unless you have a lot of money or that kind of disposable income, then I guess you're kind of shit out of luck. Also,
Is the
scanning's easier.
Was the DDoS attack still? I'm guessing that's solved now.
Oh, it's solved.
Yeah.
It was solved like in a day and a half, is what I want to say.
Okay, that's not bad.
Although my TS cohorts insist that it was less than a day, when I'm pretty sure it was more.
Probably felt like more than a day.
Kind
Or
of
you
felt
probably
yeah,
felt like
it
a
did.
week.
Yeah.
But anywho, anything else you'd like to say on EVE Online, my good sir?
No. I'm
All right.
playing Minecraft more now.
Okay, moving on. Captain, Grid 2. What can you tell me about it?
All right. Well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is it looks better than the original Grid. The bad news is it still has the same cruddy controls as the original Grid. I was looking at a couple of reviews on this, and I was reading into this. I was wondering, the one thing that I wanted them to change most of all was the clunky steering and control of the car, and they didn't do it. And the worst part about it too was not only do you have literally no control of the car in terms of like traction or whatever, but I mean it's turned into the from what I can tell, one of the most aggressive races of all time, where you're just literally hitting everything just to get through. I mean, with certain games, you know there's going to be a little bit of aggression, but this is just purely almost like a demolition derby kind of thing, where you purposely crash into one another just so you can get to the front. And I mean, that's not really racing. I mean, it's fun to crash into each other. Don't get me wrong, but it's not really racing. What also got me too was that
So basically Grid bumper cars.
yeah, essentially.
Should we point out that he had us try and find reviews
Yeah, that's
for
the
it,
funny part about it.
and he didn't even like the first one?
Yeah.
See, this is what I call efficiency. You know, I mean, I get other people to do my work for me.
It's also what we like to call in the industry
Lazy.
ass hattery.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That could also be it. True. Yeah.
I
but,
think that's more along the lines.
Another thing I wanted to add on to that too is that a lot of with the conventional racers that are coming out now, you actually get the inside of the car view where you have the steering wheel and the gauges and everything like that.
They don't have that?
They don't have it.
Oh, am I so surprised?
Yeah, somehow that, I mean, they had it. I believe they had it in the original Grid though, so I don't know why they took it out.
Wow, dude, that's a bummer.
Yeah, I know.
Super sad.
Shut up.
Give me some tears. I want some tears.
I'm sorry. I only cried dolphin tears.
Yeah, the fact that you don't like the first one, I guess that kind of
Well,
shows
I mean,
you weren't gonna like the second.
you know, I was having hopes for it. You know, I mean,
That was your first mistake.
Hey, it's a mistake I'm willing to make over and over again. I'm willing to give any game a chance if it actually produces what I want, what I expect in a game. That's one of the things. I mean, like if they can prove me wrong, if they
You
can,
will continue to be disappointed.
if they can change, I will go for it. I will actually try it out. But seeing as though they haven't changed any bit of it, of any of the mechanics inside the game, there's no point in it.
It is so hot in here.
It's getting hot in here. I'm sorry, I'm in the room. It's kind of hot when I'm here.
Wow.
I'm surrounded by doofus.
Yeah,
Yes.
you are. You're a confederacy of dunces, if you will. Moving
Well,
on.
hey, at least it's hot in the south.
Yeah. Whoa.
And you just dropped it.
Just dropped a game, Metal Slug X. Very good game, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, going on with the news.
But yes, further news. Final Fantasy 14. Square Enix is now opening up and signing up for the beta process. So I sent in my email, and we shall see if I get accepted into the beta.
Sweet. Let me get this straight. You've hated so much on Final Fantasy 13 Part 2. I remember hearing you say, I'm never going to support them again. Square Enix, I'll never support them again. And you're going for the beta test.
Because I'm a
Please
whore.
do.
And
Yeah, I can tell.
you are the last person that should be able to talk about anything
So,
on that.
You're a hypocrite is what you're telling us.
Well, you're surrounded by hypocrites.
No,
didn't you
just
know?
a whore.
Aren't they the same?
Not quite.
I think he's got a little bit of both.
It's a change of definition. But yeah.
At least you're not ashamed.
So basically, if you're interested, go on to Square Enix's website, click on the Final Fantasy 14 Realm Reborn sheet, and then you go on from there. And also, in the Square Enix camp, they've also revealed that they're going to show at E3 Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 Part 3.
Oh, joy.
Tell us more about this.
I can't tell you any more about it because I didn't click on the link.
Congrats.
So you're not as big of a whore as you
Yeah,
initially
not as big
assumed.
of a whore as I initially assumed, yes.
Good.
But yeah, no. I'm done with 13. Time to move on to the next one, Square. But anywho, any of you two have any opinions on that?
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit about
Yeah.
Final Fantasy no more.
I don't care.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
You enjoy your whore
Well,
bath.
something you do care about.
Mhm.
Mass Effect 3. Data
Yeah.
pad.
I was looking into this. I'm not exactly sure what exactly the data pad thing is. It's an application for Mass Effect 3, obviously, but apparently they've actually taken the app away. For some odd reason, I guess there wasn't enough people actually participating in the app, and they just took it out entirely. They actually took it off of iTunes as well.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Who
what's the app do?
cares?
What does the app do?
I think it just like records what you've gone through in the game, and it's also like I think it's like multiplayer and stuff like that.
So it's essentially useless.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
That sounds pretty useless, man.
That's pretty basic. That's a pretty basic day.
Yeah.
Apple and Google taking
Taking stuff
useless apps off their market stores. There you go.
It's just how it happens, man.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say on that?
Don't
Nope.
care.
Okay, moving on. Deus Ex: The Fall. Now,
Deuce X is
yes,
how you
Deuces.
Deus Ex.
Deus
There you go.
Ex.
Deus Ex. I'm sorry.
Yeah. About to say.
Yes, you guys could tear me up about that pronunciation later. But
You big
anywho,
deuce.
the latest sequel in the Deus Ex series, created by Eidos, is apparently an app
What?
made for mobile tablets.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I haven't played too many of the
I haven't
Deus
played-
Ex
I
Human
haven't played
Revolution,
any of
but
them.
I'm gonna say this right now. I don't think iOS is the best route for a game like that.
No,
I don't even think I should care. Is probably the best way to put it.
there's a lot of news that we don't care about today.
There you go,
It's-
Captain of Apathy over here.
It's been pretty fucking slow. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's because
that's
everything
it's build up.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's build up before it's all the water's trickling down and the drain, and then before you know it, a waterfall.
Okay. Well, any of you that are interested, it's on the
Makes
it's on the iTunes App Store for $7. You can get it there.
Impressive.
Moving on, State of Decay.
Yes. I think our Resident Zombie player is gonna really love this. It is an open world zombie survival. I haven't
Yeah,
read-
these are coming out like clockwork. So
I know. So I mean, you should be really excited about that.
see, you can say I'm your resident zombie guy, but the whole fact of the matter is it's because I've only been recently playing interesting zombie games. But when each one of them is a clone copy of one another, then it starts being interesting.
Like most zombie games,
Yeah. Go figure.
or most games in general.
Some of them try and mix it up. Dead Island is actually interesting if you get past all the people screaming, it was a horrible letdown because of all the hype. Ah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how hype does things.
So yeah. No. But I mean, it actually
You're
looks.
awfully boring this week.
Am
Yeah.
I?
Yes.
I'm not feeling exactly energetic. 8 days of work in a row can do that to you.
That's
Wait,
a shame.
it's 7. See? Even my brain is going now.
Okay. Well, something that should.
Well, hold on a sec. One of the things I was kind of looking into this on the State of Decay, it almost looks like if you can kind of imagine if you played Red Dead Redemption when you had the zombie pack come out, it kind of resembles that except just present day. I mean, you have, of course, your cars, but I mean, it's kind of the same thing, I would think. I mean, there's not really too much of a difference because Red Dead Redemption was open world and you had all the zombies going after you all the time. I mean, it's pretty much, I would think it would be almost the same thing. And I guess it's okay. I mean, it's an arcade, so it's not like they're making a game out of it. I mean, like a true CD game out of it, so.
So it's actually going to be an arcade game in arcade cabinets,
Yeah.
or
It's actually going to be like Xbox Arcade.
oh yeah, that's different.
Yeah. No, I would not like the arcade stand.
Yeah.
I highly doubt it would be an arcade stand. But yeah,
Okay.
that's about it though.
All right, that sounds interesting. Maybe give that a look later. But yeah, here's an interesting piece of news. Kanye West in an RPG Maker game.
I don't think we should even bother.
I'm gonna read this Kotaku article verbatim. Here we go.
Oh,
I never knew.
I love the title.
How much-
Swaggers.
Yes, Kanye West
that's ridiculous.
swaggers his way into a JRPG.
Because that's a big boy word.
Yeah. I never
Sorry, I
knew.
prefer class here.
There you go. I never knew how much the world needed a Japanese role-playing game starring Kanye West. Not until I came across Kanye Quest 3030. Now, the trailer of the game looks rough, and the way most RPG makers RPG Maker games do. But that's surface level stuff. We've seen heavy hitters with RPG Maker before. Think To the Moon or Actual Sunlight. Both actually very good games. You should give them a try. But even if Kanye Quest is crap, I wasn't able to get it to work after I downloaded it. Just the fact that it exists and that someone out there put together a JRPG with Tupac's clone and Little B is amazing. Do you share that sentiment that it's amazing that Kanye West is now in a RPG Maker game?
No.
It's a JRPG crap is what it is. I don't want it. I wouldn't touch it at all.
Captain.
If the data from that game ever found its way on my computer, I would burn my computer.
So yeah, we know your views.
Captain.
No, I wouldn't go for it. No.
Such a calm answer.
Nah, too much swag.
Too much swagger for you.
Let's not use that word.
Not use that word.
I hate that word.
Swagger. I'm gonna start a fight.
He's Immortal Otaku 85 on Twitter, guys. Please tweet him swagger. We'll start that hashtag campaign immediately after the show.
It's gonna be fun.
See how many people do it. He's actually physically shaking here, folks.
I was like, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will not be on my Twitter for the next week. FYI.
There you go. All right.
Moving on.
So, yeah, that. Moving on, Mighty Switch Force 2. For those of you that have not played the original one, Mighty Switch Force is a platforming game that was on the 3DS eShop about a year ago. And a very, very good game at that, actually. It actually uses the 3D elements actually really, really well. Well, WayForward is making a sequel to it. So that's going to be coming out soon, and we should have some more details of that at E3. So, moving on, Oculus Rift.
Yes.
One of their co-creators was hit by a car and killed Thursday.
Was it a parked car?
No. Wow.
So that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, parked car.
A parked car kills a man.
Yeah.
Explain to me how this is possible. How?
Hey, if there's a will, there's a way.
Do you believe this?
What?
Do you believe this?
I'm sorry, my brain's really not
The
working
car
today.
doesn't
Car's
have
parked.
a will,
Yeah.
and it's parked.
Yes.
The only way you could die from a parked car is if you're riding a bicycle into the car and snap your neck
Did he
on
do
the
that?
fall.
Did he do that?
Did he?
No.
Thank
He
you.
was hit and pretty much died on his way to the hospital.
Oh.
Do we want to make reference to this about the Nintendo incident?
Yeah, actually quite interesting. About 16 years ago, this also happened to Gunpei Yokoi, who, for those of you that don't know, was the creator of the Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually also hit by a car and killed in Japan.
So
16
what
years ago.
we're finding out is
So
that
quite interestingly, it
technological innovations, their creators sometimes mysteriously get hit by cars.
Interesting. Interesting how that works. But yeah, do you think that's going to have any effect on?
Not really. He's already set it in motion, and he's got other people helping him. So they'll mourn his loss. If they've got good PR, they'll be like, let's have a moment of silence for him, and hope we can get this going on the right track.
Do you think that'll? Well, that's a good question. Actually, do you think that'll inspire the people behind the team to kind of try and put in extra?
I think it'll inspire the team, and I'm hoping it also kind of gives people incentive to be like, we respect, like, we like this item, so we want to pay more to get more, and as a sorry that such a tragic loss has happened in the industry.
I think that's the case with a lot of game makers. I mean, when normally I've seen in a couple games where it says in memory of this person or whatever who has passed away. So I figure they're probably going to do the same thing with that.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
because that would be
Probably.
smart.
Mm-hmm.
They put in like in the instruction manual or something on the box or something.
Yeah, or at the end. Well, boot up.
Yep, that's true.
End of boot up. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Do we also want to talk about the Omni treadmill?
Yeah.
Right,
Go ahead and talk about it. Omni treadmill.
Well, that's not actually its name. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But there it is. The
Virtuix.
Virtuix Omni is the name of it, but there is, I believe, it was a Kickstarter, and input device gets funded pretty much. Okay, so it's instantly funded already. So
Yeah, so
people have already funded the production of the Virtuix Omni. We'll just go with Omni because I don't want to say that word anymore. You can run in any direction. That is the gist of an Omni treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point of this is to create an immersion. If you like to exercise or like to move,
yeah.
then you can buy, possibly, we don't know if this will go completely through development and everything. You could possibly buy this, and there will possibly be Kickstarter games which will use the Omni treadmill.
Well, it is kind of interesting how we're now at this point where, immersion is getting so deep to the point where literally we can put you inside of one of those Omni treadmill things and put a set of VR glasses on you, and you're actually in the actual game.
Not to mention they now have a vest. I can't remember the name of the vest. There's a vest that has sensor points, speakers around, so the sound is directly in your ear. And the vest can create hot, cold, and even kind of make your muscles spasm a little bit, which is a little worrisome. But
If that malfunctions.
yeah. But the whole idea is that it's if you get hit some part on your body in the game, it triggers the suit to cause an effect in that part of the body. So it's like you're actually getting hit.
Yeah.
There's the brain interface as well, which that to me is the most iffy of all the hardware that they're lining up on Kickstarter and whatnot, because it's because of how brain pathways are. It's not a guaranteed like it'll work for everyone.
Yeah.
And even then it'd be limited. Like they were showing in that video, son of Nod Nor something, son of Nor I think, but it was just it took more time to get it to respond because you actually have to focus on what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that means it's not fast.
Well, that's also going to break immersion really.
Yeah.
Because if you have to focus on that the entire time, you can't really sometimes,
Well, the only thing that's
gonna
missing at this point is how to interface your a virtual gun, virtual maybe flashlight. Actually, that would be an interesting one because you got to have those. This would make really well for horror games.
Yep.
Because you got that full immersion, and you need like a flashlight and whatnot, and you're walking around.
Now, the only thing that I'm afraid of at this point is that they're gonna like really baby the audiences here, like they do with the regular games. Like press X to jump, and now it's gonna be move your right foot in front of your left to walk.
Oh my god! Tutorial.
There you
Walk.
go.
Walk 5.
Tutorial how to walk.
Walk 5 steps forward.
There you go.
Walk 5 steps to the side.
Walk
Side
5 steps
step.
backward.
This is how you
Do
crouch.
a jumping jack.
Crouch.
This,
Crouch.
This is how you crouch.
Wow.
Duck your head to crouch.
Duck and cover.
Is there anything else you want to say on this?
No, I'll just point out that if it's not already obvious, we are getting closer to a point where full immersion will be soon possible.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
It'll be
And
kind
hopefully
of a neat
it'll all
experience, I
work.
would think.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Unlike the previous failed generations.
Yeah, virtual reality has a storied past. Virtual boy.
My eyes! I can't
see. All I can see is red and black for an hour.
People pass out.
Not good.
Can't even walk around with them. You have to lay down with them the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm coming back on. I got some fire going.
And you know what really sucks? They like advertise that as like a portable game console. Have you ever seen a virtual boy? Those things are huge.
Yeah, they really are.
Are those red things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the massive virtual
They're
reality
like this.
glasses.
They have the tripod right under them,
put
too.
your eyes in them
Exactly.
like that, and they're just like covering half your effing face.
Total and complete mess.
I feel like I'm in a cavern.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
getting tunnel vision.
Anything
I-
else
I
you
hear
wanted to say
birds.
on virtual reality or
Not really.
at all? Captain, anything?
I'm glad that they're kind of making this moves to where you can do the whole like you can walk in any direction. But I have to assume, I mean, like, are you? I mean, is it like a traditional treadmill that it'll move when, it'll move if you set it up to move, or are you actually moving it with your feet and walking on it? Because I know with certain treadmills, you'll set it at a certain speed and you have to go at the speed of the treadmill. But there are also ones that you can actually move your feet and move the treadmill with your feet.
Well, that's actually a good question. Is it really a treadmill or is it more like a sensing pad almost where
The
it like
treadmill?
just keeps
Yeah.
track of where you're
I
walking?
don't know. It probably is a sensing pad more than
Yeah,
anything.
I don't think it's like
Because-
it's not like a traditional treadmill in the
Mhm.
way that you would imagine a treadmill being.
Because you got to think about it as
Just gotta think about the safety
how are
concerns
how are
too.
they going to have it so it rotates with you and constantly is
Yeah.
essentially rolling? Because that's what treadmills are. They're one
They're constantly
track
rolling,
and
yeah.
constantly going around.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure it's more of a pad, but then you got to think about how do people walk on it because they'll have to learn to
How
walk
to
in
walk
place.
on it. Yeah. Well, that's where that tutorial comes into play.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Okay. But anything
Moving
else?
on.
Anything
No,
else to add on it?
That's it.
I think we're pretty much good.
All right. Well, that pretty much covers it for the news.
We'll be segueing into
So-
our second half.
E3 is less than a week away.
It's gonna be good times.
I'm gonna be at the beach for the first day.
And much like last year, we decided that today we would kind of talk about our E3 predictions
Yep.
and what's going to be going on. So before that, let's go ahead and talk about what we know is actually going to happen at the convention. We know for Microsoft and Sony, they're going to be
The consoles.
doing this
Sony will
stuff
be
for their
showing
consoles.
their console, so we
Sony will-
actually know what it looks like.
Will
Yes,
finally
no
be showing us what their
pixelations.
console looks like. And Xbox has already said that they're going to be focusing specifically on games.
Well, I would hope so.
For
It
the
is
Xbox
Game
One.
Con.
Well, we hope.
I saying
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah.
But how well has hope served us in the
Yeah,
past?
well.
You're just
well.
not believing hard
Yeah.
enough.
Coming
Oh,
from the
yeah,
eternal
most
optimist
definitely.
over here.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy to
Oh,
be
yeah.
the optimist.
Grid 2.
Grid 1.
Every other game that you've had bad. Remember Me. There you go. That's a good one.
Remember me.
By the way, you want to tell us how you feel about that female MC?
Yeah,
for
tell
the
us
game?
how you.
Nah, I'm good. Let's just.
How do you feel about this female character, and why you feel like you could have made her better?
She wasn't attractive.
Thank you. And I'm the chauvinist on this show.
Oh yeah, you're
So
still the
Mortal
chauvinist.
Otaku is passing the torch. Although they probably won't. Although the internet probably won't let you.
No, that's probably the case.
I gotta be careful of that shoulder when
You're
I think
kinda-
about it. At least I snap it again.
All right. So back on to E3. So we know for a fact that Sony's going to be revealing their console,
Yeah.
and Xbox
It's gonna
is
be
going to
highlighting their
be
games.
highlighting the games
Mhm.
for the console, including some of the apparent 15 exclusive titles that they said
They
will
have.
be for the Xbox.
So wait,
One.
they're actually gonna have exclusive.
Nintendo, my guess, is going to be sitting in a dark corner. Hoping
Well,
people
that's the
come
funny
up-
part. Nintendo is not having a formal press conference this year. They're doing
Thank you.
only with only in their actual booth. But what we do know is that they're going to be revealing a bunch of game footage.
Mhm.
Specifically, I know Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U and 3DS are going to have gameplay demos there.
Mm-hmm.
Ubisoft apparently is supposed to be also having a press conference along with EA, and they're going to be revealing some of their new games for the next generation. And I believe it covered most of the people that are having actual events.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention there was what was it? Indie Developers Crash, E3 was actually kind of in the news.
Okay.
Was a whole bunch of indie developers are sending like some people to represent them, like, and they're sending them there to essentially be like, we're here too, don't forget about us.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we know now, E3 is essentially like big.
Well, E3 is
Big
not really
people.
for. I mean, indie
Yeah.
developers. That's more PAX.
Yeah,
Pin
but,
Arcade Expo.
that's
But-
why I'm saying is they're gonna be there and they're gonna be like, hey, look at us too.
Yep.
The
Yeah, well,
actual
that'd be
interesting games now.
That'll be interesting. Interesting to see how that works. But Anywho,
Mm-hmm.
now that we kind of have that out of the way, that stuff that we know that's actually going to happen there,
Yeah.
and they're going to be revealing some games, and obviously the two companies that have yet to release their consoles are going to be buffing those up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
All the exclusives.
Well, let's go ahead and start with one company. Let's start with Sony.
Sony.
Mhm.
Yes. So Sony, they're going to be revealing what their console actually looks like, and also
More than just one controller.
not only that, but also the one of the creators of Destiny at Bungie is going to be showing us some gameplay footage during Sony's event.
Yes.
So, what do you think, prediction-wise? What do you think is going to...
I think it's pretty much going to be, they're going to try and highlight what Xbox highlighted at their press conference, because they did show quite a few games at their press conference. They're going to be highlighting their console. They're going to try and show more games as well. And again, they're probably going to try and focus around, it's like, we have this whole, PlayStation Network, and we have all this stuff going on. Come see it. Come, salivate over it.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because I actually think because of the massive negative press that Xbox's press conference got, I don't think they're going to do the same thing.
Well,
I think a lot of it's going to be...
Well, they kind of have to draw into that.
But they already kind of did
everyone
that
mark.
at their last... They already kind of did that at their reveal press conference earlier this year.
Yeah, but they didn't go into enough emphasis. I'm not saying that Xbox did, but at this point, what we're seeing is all the big consoles are just saying, "Hey, we need to bring in the mainstream people who don't really care about games. We need them to
But they
buy
already
this."
showed that.
Yeah.
Sony already showed that. And at E3, you're not really going to have the quote unquote mainstream audience that you were talking about.
You're still going to get
That's
news
mostly
coverage.
game press and
Whatever.
yeah. Okay. Well, that's his prediction. Captain.
I mean, I'm kind of with Moral Taco on this. I mean, they're gonna obviously show the PlayStation that they're gonna come out, but I honestly think that a lot of their stuff is gonna be about all the specs of it. But with the Xbox, it's gonna be a whole lot more with the games and stuff like that, and they're gonna try to steer away from the Xbox because they already talked a lot about it, and due to the bad press and everything like that, I'm sure they don't want to talk about it again and get bad publicity, especially at E3 as well. So I mean, will the PlayStation actually be talking about some of the games? Probably a little bit, but I mean, it won't be as much as Xbox because they're trying to make up for kind of lost time, I guess. Because I mean, they had a chance to make their Xbox really sound good, and they kind of faltered on that. They tripped a little bit over their feet, but now they have the chance to kind of pick themselves back up and say, okay, check out these games that we already have lined up for it.
Well, they made themselves sound good to the people they're targeting, which is not gamers.
Yeah.
So
That's why
now they need to try and target gamers because this is E3.
Yep. Okay. Well, I guess that kind of covers Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, Microsoft. What do you think is going to happen?
I think they're going to unveil quite a few games. Most of those exclusives they're talking about are going to
Connect.
Yes.
Connect.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Connect
You
Fit,
need-
Connect Sports, Connect...
You need Connect for these games.
yes.
Telling you that right now.
Yep.
I have no illusions on this.
I'm really worried about this whole unique Connect for everything. I'm really worried about it.
That's just the way things are going now, man.
It doesn't mean
And
I like it.
and Xbox is arrogant enough to say, well, everyone's going to love it because
Yeah,
we're
they're
not
pretty
going
much
to...
betting
You will
on a-
learn to love it.
They're betting on
Yeah,
heavy...
yeah,
like,
that's exactly it. They're saying you'll learn to love this or else go the fuck to hell.
they're pretty much betting on a major rate of attrition at this point.
Oh, yeah.
That
They
think their shit doesn't stink because they won the last generation, and now they're going to go and just say, "Oh, well, we're going to release this product out here, and people are going to buy it because they already bought a 360."
See, they're gambling on this whole concept, which I'm constantly hearing about, that hardcore gamers are going to buy these consoles because, they need it. It's like, no, they don't. Because if it's not a hardcore specific
Look at the Wii U.
console. Yeah. If it's not a hardcore specific console, why the fuck are they gonna buy it?
You almost said
Why are they
hardcore.
gonna waste? What are they like $400, like $500 on a console when they could be easily buying 5
Well,
games?
That's an interesting point that you should say that because what do you think the prices for these are going to be? Because that's one thing that they didn't
I'm thinking.
really expound in major detail.
I'm thinking like if they sell the consoles separately, I think the PlayStation is gonna be expensive, just like the PS3 was. I mean, what was it when it originally came out? Like 600.
Mhm.
I think it's gonna go back to 600 again. I think they're gonna keep to that. Either that, or if Sony's a little bit smart about it, drop it a little bit. I'm not saying like a whole bunch, but at least give them a little bit of leeway. I mean, try to get people to kind of side with them, because I think with Microsoft, the thing that's gonna be the problem is that they will say, okay, the Xbox is $300. Okay, that's about the same as last time, but here's the but: you have to buy Kinect.
Kinect's already in the system.
Oh, it's already in the system?
Yeah,
It's all
it's already bundled.
Oh, so
That's
in
why
that case,
that's why I'm saying they're
so
trying
if
to
you're
push it on
if
you.
you're adding 2 on that, so it's gonna be somewhere around $450, $500 already.
Actually, what I was gonna say, I was actually gonna say that I think that's why they put the Kinect in the box so they could charge more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My estimation is up towards 500 for Xbox and more down towards 400 to high 300s for PlayStation.
Really?
Well, I can
gotta-
see where he's coming from on that because they kind of got burned with that $600
Yeah.
price tag last
Okay.
gen. So
You
that
also got to
could
think
make
about
sense.
all the hardware coming with this. Xbox has a lot more hardware than
That's not true. Actually, it's the opposite this time.
how so? No, I meant like they're adding more stuff in, like the Kinect.
Well, yeah, it adds more stuff in there, but if you actually look at the system specs,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
actually quite.
Oh yeah.
I actually have to applaud AMD because they essentially sold the same processing unit to both companies without telling each other,
I love it. I love it really.
and they just turned some stuff off in the Xbox One.
I just want to
That's
say
it.
AMD is my
Yeah.
primary go-to processor, and I want to say a special thank you AMD for selling them a shitty processor because it's hilarious.
But at this point, since both consoles are kind of going more towards the direction of a PC architecture, I actually think that both of them are going to be probably about $600-$700.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be any less than that.
See, I can agree, but you also have to think of it as, while Xbox is trying to do that, let's see how far we can push gamers before they snap.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this is one of the final pushes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see some people trying to stick with it, but overall, I'm pretty sure quite a few of the hardcore gamers are gonna be like, "Fuck it, I'm getting a PC," or "Fuck it, I'm going to PlayStation 4."
Well, I'm thinking. I mean, going back to a couple of conversations we had before about the Xbox and stuff like that. When we were talking about the Microsoft points being switched to money, which was a good idea. But at the same time, they're also saying, "Oh, we got installation charges for your used games." I don't think PlayStation has installation charges at all.
Well, that's a good question because Sony hasn't said anything on that. And apparently Twitter's campaign, there was a hashtag campaign, PS4 no DRM,
Oh yeah.
that they sent to Sony's executives, and they actually responded to it. But they still haven't given any data on any used game stuff.
Really?
Here's what I think is going to happen.
We're gonna see that.
And it's
at
going to be a
E3.
lot of, and this is actually what I think it's going to connect a lot to what Sony usually does.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's probably going to happen is that the DRM thing, they're going to leave up to the publishers, the separate publishers of the games.
Okay.
I'd also like to say for Xbox, I would probably, I'm gonna predict that they're going to clarify how much you're gonna be paying on those used games.
Probably.
Mhm.
They're probably gonna
How much do you
highlight
think
that.
that's going to be? I think they're going to charge new game price.
If they're not fucking stupid, then you're probably looking at 10.
Well, if they weren't stupid, they wouldn't be charging
Well,
it
yeah,
at all.
But I'm saying
yeah.
super stupid.
Yeah.
There's now a difference. Because let's face it,
Super stupid.
most of these consoles are pretty stupid.
Super
And
stupid.
now they're getting
It's
super
stupid.
stupid. So I would say $10 because think of it, you're probably paying around $20-$30 for a used game.
Yeah, $10.
$10.
I think they're going to charge you 60. Honestly, I really think they're going to charge new game price.
I think it'll all depend upon what the game is. I mean, if you go further on the years, I think like if you have like an old game from way back when, saying we're like in 2018, 2019, if you had like a 2014 game, they won't charge as much because it's an older game. But if you have a bunch of the newer stuff that's coming out, like brand new, like right off like 2 months out, they're probably gonna be like, okay, we're gonna charge you full blown new price every single time for at least a year, until the game rep kind of dies down a bit.
Well, that's kind of basic. That's kind of just basic thing. As your inventory goes down, you just do sales
Mm-hmm.
as the game gets older. But
So
I still think they're going to charge a massive amount for it,
Mhm.
up to the
no,
point
it
where
wouldn't. It wouldn't
yeah.
surprise me at all.
Yep.
At all. I would say at minimum you're paying the equivalent of what you bought the used game for.
Mm.
Well, I would say maximum, but at this point it probably is a minimum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think if you end up buying used games on Xbox One, you'll be paying more money than
You might as well buy
New.
you might as well buy the new
At
one.
this point,
Yep.
you might as well just forego the used games at
Yeah.
this point.
yeah, which actually kind of sucks.
That's gonna
Well,
ruin
And
the
that's
market,
the other
though.
interesting
Oh,
thing
hells
is,
yeah. No, they don't care.
and that's the other interesting thing. Used games, as big as they are here, they're a shit ton bigger in Japan,
Mhm.
which is another reason why I don't think PlayStation is going to charge for.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have separate developers do that
Mm-hmm.
because I mean the used game market's big here, but it's nowhere near the size it is in Japan.
Of course,
Mhm.
the charging
So-
charging all the extra fees is huge here.
Yeah.
Yeah, go figure.
Of course.
Okay.
But anyway, so any other things to say on Microsoft?
Well, then go the fuck to hell. That's it.
No, I have nothing to say.
Okay, moving on. Nintendo.
Crying in a corner,
The Wii U.
trying to invite everyone else to their pity
Just
party.
sucking on the thumb the whole time. I'm not here.
They just want people for their pity party. That's it at this point.
Here's what the Wii U at this point is like in a state of emergency. Where they
It's
really,
It's
really.
been in a state of emergency.
Wii U, Wii U, Wii U, Wii U.
Siren going off.
Yeah. They're pretty much the system. I don't want to say on life support because it's not that low,
We should-
but
we-
it
we
is
should
Getting
still.
close.
You should point out the stocks and how it's been for
Oh,
the past
how
5
the fact
years.
that they haven't had like a stock point go up one day since 2008 is pretty bad.
I mean, the thing is that I
Stock
won't-
prices are
I
still
won't-
pretty high, but they've gone down.
Mhm.
a good bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
and,
keep going down.
Yeah.
I mean, if they keep on making dumb decisions, yeah. I mean, that's just gonna be the case. No one. I mean, I'm not gonna pity them at all. I mean, they know what they've been doing the whole time, and they could have improved it so much more, and they didn't.
Well, here's the irony. Nintendo is a company that has the worst selling console on the market right now, but
And
also
the
the
best
best selling console on the market right now. The 3DS actually outsells every other video game
Oh
console
my.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what I really think is probably going to happen is that this E3 here is going to be very, very 3DS centric
Yeah.
because it's the one that's selling the most units.
It'll be pivotal. For
Yes, and I think that they're gonna. That's where most of their game. That's where most of the games that they're coming out with is actually going to show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we already know about Super Smash Brothers. This is
Mhm.
the first time it's going to a portable console, and I think the fact that the 3DS is selling marginally better than the Wii U kind of equates to that.
I wonder if they're actually gonna later on. I'm not saying like the C3, but later on, I wonder if they're just gonna trash their home console in general and just keep the portable one as their main.
I think Nintendo will go bankrupt before they do that. I'm serious.
I know you're serious,
Out of,
but it's
out of
dumb.
every video game company that I know, they're the most resistant to change than any other game company.
I mean,
can
it
think
And
would,
of.
it's
it would
killing them.
actually be smarter if they trashed the console and just focused on the DS because that's pretty much all they're doing.
It
now.
would, but they're not gonna. That's the thing about Nintendo, and don't take this out of context because I love Nintendo. I love a lot of their games, but
Yeah,
they
I
are
know you love
the
JRPGs.
most resistant to any type of change ever.
Yes.
So I'm,
Yes, they are.
yeah,
Yes. Huh.
they are.
Mhm.
Don't get me started.
Okay. How does that make you feel?
How does that make me feel?
How does it make you feel?
But
Is it enjoyable?
what do you guys
Does it
think is
warm your
probably
heart?
going to happen?
I'm kind of
for
on the same
Nintendo?
boat with you. They're going to focus very heavily on the 3DS because it's what they're doing good with. The Wii U, I don't even think it's going to show up. They may have.
Well, they
one,
had to show it up.
Well, I
because
mean, like
it's-
there might be one or two games that they throw out there, but to be quite honest, compared to the 3DS, it's going to be like it was never even there. I mean, they're not going to even focus nearly as much time as they would, and it's just that's about it.
All right, Monotaku.
What are
anything
my
to say on it?
predictions? They're gonna show some games, and they're gonna throw out some comments that are gonna be misconstrued.
Like last year.
And it's going to be
What? The
no
Wii U
one,
isn't an add-on.
no one effing cares, and they'll say, "Wait, there's a Nintendo conference." I had no clue.
No, there isn't.
No
That's
idea.
the whole fact of it. It's just going to be at their booth.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on to a company that does have a conference, Ubisoft.
Oh man.
So, what do you think is going to happen with that?
Show off Assassin's Creed.
Possibly, yeah. That's
Yeah.
definitely a big one.
Was it
Watch
Watch
Dogs.
Dogs probably, yeah, is
Watch
going to show up.
Dogs, Assassin's Creed, another Assassin's Creed,
Another Far Cry.
another Far.
No,
No,
wait, really?
No, I wouldn't say that.
I would probably say so. I mean, you already heard that rumor of the guy that, the creator of Blood Dragon that was talking
Mhm.
about he wanted to do a sequel for it.
Oh, so is it just going to be more
So
DLC?
I
or is
I
it
don't know if it's just going to be more DLC or anything.
We're also going to be.
But they treated that like a separate game.
Yeah, they
You didn't
did.
need the actual game Far Cry 3 to do it.
Yeah.
They're also going to emphasize on PC gamers needing to use Uplay as well.
Yep.
You can go
Yeah.
the fuck to hell, Ubisoft. Go the
You
fuck
have to
hell.
join Uplay. Mm-hmm.
I will not be buying any of your games. Also, EA, suck it. That's it.
You have anything else to say on Ubisoft?
Nah,
Captain?
I think he pretty much covered it.
Speaking of EA,
Am I on fire now?
yeah.
Yeah.
Am I on fire?
Speaking of EA, what do you think is going to happen with them at E3 this year?
E3, EA,
Sports.
sports,
That's about it.
sports.
Yeah, they're going to be talking about that
Yay!
multi-million dollar NFL deal that they have with the
Oh,
Xbox
yeah.
One.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, we have all these sports. Here's a few less than par games.
There you
Also,
go.
we will not be supporting any servers past the year.
Yep.
Because fuck you and actually wanting to play games. This isn't what the market's about. We want money. Fuck you, pirators. It's your fault that we're losing money.
Yes, because everyone that pirates your game is a guaranteed sale.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
It was 100%. 100% of those people would have bought your games if they couldn't pirate them. No.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think,
Captain.
being the optimistic one of the group, I'm actually hoping that they come out with another Need for Speed and make it right this time. I hope.
Wow.
That's the only thing I hope for. That's
You
the
know how
only thing.
dumb that sounded right there?
Boom.
That is not going to happen.
Crashed into an ocean
You
of flames.
know that's not going to happen.
I would hope it happens.
Really?
Optimistic, I'm telling you.
Okay. That is not going to happen. That is so
Or
blind.
is it?
That is so blind. Really?
Why not?
That's dumb.
I'm
It's
saying
so fucking stupid.
so.
It's not going to happen.
Finally,
Or
we
is
get
it?
that.
Really?
Finally,
Or
we
is
get it
it?
on the show.
Are you really that
I'm actually hoping that they come out with another Need for Speed. I'm hoping.
seriously?
I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying I'm hoping.
Okay, I'm done. Anything else to say on EA? I'm not even going to comment on them because no.
It's because he doesn't know what to say.
No, I know exactly what to say, but we don't have enough time for
They're
what
going
I'm
to
going to say.
emphasize their unionship with Xbox.
Yeah.
They're also going to pretty much show they have another Battlefield coming, and everyone's going to be like, graphics.
That actually kind of does.
Well, I actually have Battlefield 4 pre-orders out already, so
Yeah.
But they're going to show
might
more.
as well. Yeah.
Are they actually going to do a beta test as well? I know they did that with Battlefield 3.
I don't think, at this point, I don't think they're even going to bother, because it's like, gamers don't need to see our game, they need to shovel out the money.
Maybe. Don't know.
Give us money. We don't want you to have a quality game. Give us money.
They probably charge you to get into the beta.
Don't all games now?
Microsoft
Maybe.
points.
Depends on the game.
Well, a lot of indie developers are doing that now.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's more because they want people to stay interested.
Yeah. And they have no money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
That
Yeah.
too. Okay, moving on.
But we're kind of coming down to the end here, so
We
any
wanna
other
do some whoring, or are we just gonna keep?
general ideas on what's E3 is going to be like?
I want it to be better than last year. I mean, like,
Well, that's guaranteed.
well, I mean, with the consoles and everything, yeah, it is kind of guaranteed. But I actually want to see, even with the consoles, I want to see a whole lot more. I don't know. It didn't seem like it had a lot of energy last time.
It's gonna have a lot more energy this time because it's It's the next generation of hardware, which is why last time was so
Meh.
because Nintendo had theirs, but let's be honest, no one was really super excited about that.
No.
And then Microsoft and Sony were kind of, we're not quite ready to show off the next stuff yet. So
you want to know my prediction for the whole E3? It's going to be a giant circle jerk for all the big publishing houses and developing studios and console.
You feel
makers.
better now?
I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
It's not my E3.
That's a lie.
That's consoles. It's consoles.
Yep.
It's for them.
Yep. There you go.
Those people.
Oh yes, those people.
I'm not even gonna
Wow.
specify it.
So, Steele, what do you
So
think?
we can add elitist onto that list.
So, Steele, what do you think?
I basically think a lot of this is going to be very centric on Microsoft and Sony. I don't think really any of the other two are. I don't really think Nintendo's really going to pull off a whole bunch of attention.
I mean, they might
And
with a little bit with the 3DS, but not too much. I don't think
it's going
No
to be
one's
that
gonna
big.
care.
It's
a pity party.
It's
And
just
everyone's
the
invited.
fact. It's just the fact that Microsoft and Sony have shiny new. It's just basic.
There's not going to be
Look at
much
the-
attention
Look
on
at
them.
the
Yeah.
massive VCR box.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey guys!
It's cool because it got a little beam that goes around it.
Oh,
Alrighty
by the
then,
way,
guys.
there's only 500 gigs. Feel free to buy more of our hardware.
Yes, buy cloud storage.
Impossible because you need to store it right on the hard drive.
Exactly.
So you need to buy more hard drives made exclusively by Xbox that are going to be charged out the ass.
And guess
Enjoy.
what? They're $250 a piece. No.
I'm about to say. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving
All
on.
right. So I guess that brings us to the end of the show today, guys. Where can we find you guys on the internets?
Immortal Otaku at Twitter. Wait, at Immortal Otaku on Twitter. Shut up. You can find me on Steam. Immortal Otaku 85. Please send me an email at immortalotaku85@gmail.com.
You sound like Microsoft, Sam.
I will try to do exactly as you desire.
I am Robo.
My human master. Destroy.
Destroy.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
I must remove all your
raffle,
useless
raffle.
flesh. Okay.
Wow.
You can find me on Tumblr. What was it? Tumblr. What? Immortal Otaku / Tumblr.
MortalOtaku85.tumblr.com.
Thank you.
Or just look for Insanity Simplified in the search bar.
Insanity.
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 Yeah. You couldn't remember any of yours.
No,
so
I can't.
Keep going.
I
I mean, he doesn't remember our names, so it kind of goes on with that.
How about Steam?
I already said that.
I thought you were going to say send an email before you friend me on.
We'll go with that too.
Okay.
Please send me an email before you friend me on Steam, or friend me and then send me an email, and maybe I'll accept.
Because he needs friends.
What world are you living in?
That's what I was about to ask.
I'm perfectly
All right.
happy to sit in a dark room at home.
Yes, we know. Captain.
All right, you can find me on StarCraft 2 always. You can find me as Obliteration. It's not Captain Obliteration, it's just Obliteration. You can find me on Steam as Captain Obliteration. You can also find me on captainobliteration@gmail.com. You can send me emails. And that's about it.
All right. Well, I am Steel Tamashi. You can find me under that name, Steel Tamashi, on Steam and PlayStation Network, joining the game. You can also email me at steeltamashi@gmail.com and visit my blog, The Soul of Steel, video games, anime, and more at steeltamashi.tumblr.com. You can also follow the show on our website at gamersunrated.libsyn.com and download episodes there and comment on episode threads. You can also watch episodes on YouTube at www.youtube.com/user/gamersunratedShow. You can also call us at 413-6GU-SHOW, our Google Voice number, to call into the show, leave comments. You can also leave comments on our Twitter page, twitter.com/gamersunrated, or just follow at gamersunrated. You can also tune in live to the show at 3 p.m. Wednesdays every week right here at www.royalcrownstudios.com/radio. Anything else you guys have to say?
Those brownies are good.
They really are. Those are
Yeah.
awesome
Yeah.
brownies. Those are Boston brownies.
Boston brownies.
Boston brownies.
Boston.
There you go.
I mean, pretty much
it's
cheesecake
more
with
like-
a brownie.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys have to say?
Don't kiss the cook.
No, I won't.
No.
Captain.
Don't be Irish. Don't kiss me if I'm Irish. I have nothing to say.
Racist. I hope 9 is not watching.
I got a feeling he is. That'd be kind of funny.
Well, when he gets back from overseas, we're gonna have him dry hump you a few times.
No, he can beat the every
And
living
beat you with
snot
a
out of
hammer.
me.
He'll beat you with a hammer.
Beat that Bama with a hammer.
He could beat me with Natasha.
I'm gonna have another brownie.
It's amazing.
Inside jokes about people they don't know.
No.
Yay! Okay. All right. Well, this has been Steel Tamashi,
Captain Obliteration.
Immortal Otaku 85 eating brownies.
and you have been watching Gamers Unrated. Good night, everyone.
Good night.